In this video, we're going to install Visual Studio 2026 Insiders Community Edition. Hello, I'm Philip Burton of idodata.com. Microsoft has now released Visual Studio 2026 Insiders, so this is a preview edition. So what's new in Visual Studio 2026? Well, you can take advantage of .NET 10, C# 14, and more. You can also use Copilot. It can be integrated into your workflow. Now, unlike previous versions, Visual Studio 2026 has full compatibility for existing workloads, including extensions developed for Visual Studio 2022. So this means if you're using SSRS, SSAS, SSIS, then hopefully they should work right from day one. And there is also a new developer using Fluent Design, updated icons, and subtle user interface improvements throughout. So let's see how we can download and install it. Hello! And in this section, we're going to be analyzing images using C# and Python. And we're going to start by using a program called Visual Studio. So if I Google Visual Studio Download, you'll see it takes me to the visualstudio.microsoft.com website /downloads. Now you've got a choice of downloads, Visual Studio 2022 or Visual Studio 2026. So you can click either free download or download for 2026. If you wanted the 2022 edition, then you can click on free download next to Community. Community is the version that's free for students, open source contributors, and individuals. The other two are best suited to small and big teams and are not free. So I'm going to click on Download and Download Community. And you can see that a small Bootstrap program, only about 4 megabytes, has been downloaded. So I'll click on it, and then I get a message saying, do you allow this app to make changes to your device? So I'll say yes. And then we get the Visual Studio installer. So I'll click Continue, and it's going to download and install a few small things. It's only 37 megabytes in my version. So this will just take a few seconds. So once this has been done, then we'll get another dialog box. And this is going to give me a list of workloads or individual components that you can download. So I'm going to be creating a console application using C#. So I'm going to check the .NET Desktop development workload. So I'll check that, and you can see that the computer is going to be downloading additional things as well. And here you can see the total space required is around 6 gigabytes. You can change the location if you want to do that. For example, maybe you've got a small C drive and a bigger D drive. You can also download language packs as well and change the installation locations. In the last tab, you can always come back to this dialog box if you want to add additional workloads. So now I'll click Install, and you'll notice it will install while downloading. The alternative is to download all of the components and then install. So I'll click Install. And it will now start to download, and once individual components are downloaded, it will install that individual package. And you can see on my computer, there's around 400 packages to install. So I'm going to speed up this part of the video and let it download and install all of these packages. So now everything has been installed, but we're still going to have to wait a few seconds for it to tidy up. So now you can see that Visual Studio Community 2026 has now been installed. So I will click on Launch. So first of all, it's going to try to sign in to Visual Studio. Now you don't need to do this. If you did, then it would synchronize your settings across various devices, and you can also turn on your AI-powered programmer, so Copilot free. But I'm going to click on Maybe Later. And after another few seconds, then Visual Studio itself will open. So here we can see the Get Started with Visual Studio, and for some reason the color scheme has just changed. So I can click on Create a new project, open a project or solution, open a folder, clone a repository using GitHub or Azure DevOps, or at the bottom right, continue without code. And that will open Visual Studio 2026. So I'm going to close these tabs and I'm going to create a new project. So I'll go to File, New, Project Stroke Solution. Now for this example, I'm going to be creating a console app using C#, but there are plenty of other project templates that you can also use. So next, I'll click on Next. We need a name for the project, so I'll call this AI Vision Analysis. I'm going to change the location, so I'll click on the ... and I can select a different folder and then click on Select Folder. I generally keep the solution name the same as the project name, unless there's a particular reason to not do so. And you can choose whether to place the solution and the project in the same directory. So the difference is that there would be an additional directory created if that was left unchecked. Then I'll go to Next. The framework, I would generally suggest that you choose a framework which has long-term support. So whatever that version is at the time that you create your project, and then click on Create. So this will just take a few seconds. And now you can see that my project has been created, and this will give me a place that I can type my code in. Now the first thing you might want to do, now we've created a sample project, is to change the user environment theme. And we can do this by going to Tools, Options, and then going to Environment and Visual Experience. So here we can see the color theme, and we can change it to various different themes, including dark mode. But I'm going to go back to the cool breeze. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to know how to program using Visual Studio, then please come to our website, idodata.com, where you can find lots of different courses in programming in C#, VB.NET, and Python in our AI courses. Did you know that you can be certified by Microsoft for your newfound C# skills? For more information, please click on the next video on the end screen. If you did like this video, then please click like, and why not subscribe and click that bell? That way you'll be notified of any new videos. I'm Philip Burton of idodata.com. Thanks for watching and keep learning.